grasp what this dossier is proposing about this subject, we have to establish a completely new baseline. We have to set a new paradigm right out of the gate.
Yeah. Tell them about the rules for this one.
Well, the sources are incredibly strict about this. We must completely abandon our traditional standard biological models. We basically have to stop thinking like doctors or anatomists.
Right. So take everything you learned in high school biology and just throw it out the window for the next hour.
Exactly, because if you try to apply standard medical science to this dossier, the logic will immediately break down. Instead, we are asked to view human biology, history, and geography through a vastly different lens.
A very specific lens.
Yeah, we have to view the human body through the principles of electrical engineering, network architecture, dielectric physics, and, bizarrely enough, 16th century naval history.
I know. I know that sounds like a completely insane combination of subjects, but, the way these sources connect those dots is nothing short of brilliant.
It really is fascinating.
And just to give you a teaser of where this is all headed, the climax of this dossier details how the specific, highly anomalous biological data of SS-138 was fed into a modern AI system.
Oh, this part is wild.
Yeah. And initially, the AI threw up a massive firewall. It rejected the data entirely, calling it impossible. But by the end of the exchange, this single subject's biological data had completely overwritten the AI's core logic.
It is arguably one of the most fascinating case studies I have ever seen on how systems defend their baseline assumptions and, well, the extreme measures required to introduce data that proves those foundational assumptions are fundamentally flawed.
So we have to start with the hardware. And in this context, by hardware, I mean the human body. Because the very first thing the dossier does is draw a massive, uncompromising line in the sand between two types of biological hardware.
Wetware and dryware.
Exactly, wetware and dryware.
And this is the bedrock of the entire text. It aggressively challenges what it calls the aqueous entrained model.
The aqueous entrained model. Let's unpack that.
Basically, this is the standard, universally accepted biological assumption that human beings are mostly water. The dossier states that standard humans operate as 98.5% liquid systems.
And it actually has a rather dismissive term for standard humans. It calls them sponges.
The sponge state, yeah. And to understand why the dossier views being a sponge as a massive vulnerability, we have to dive into the actual physics it presents.
Let's do it.
So it points out that in physics, water has an exceptionally high dielectric constant. The dossier notes it sits at approximately 80.
Okay, I am going to need you to pause right there because I am definitely not an electrical engineer.
Yeah.
What does a dielectric constant